Guys, good morning. It's Mike Chen here in Lafayette, Louisiana, the heart of Cajun Creole country. Every single time I used to film in New Orleans in the past, people always would say, go to Lafayette, that's where the best Cajun Creole food is. And here I am, and today is a jam-packed food day. And it all starts with some biscuits. This restaurant I'm in is an iconic breakfast place here in Lafayette. So they do both savory and sweet biscuits here. The first one I got is their famous honey biscuit. This thing, look at this, look how big this is. And honey is just poured all over this biscuit. And the second one I got, biscuits and gravy. If I'm at a restaurant known for their biscuits, I'm getting biscuits and gravy. Each biscuit only around $3. That's an incredible value. As much as I want to dig into the biscuits and gravy, this thing is just shimmering. And when you open this up, oh my gosh, look how pillowy and soft it is in here. And it is crumbly. Just put a little pressure on the fork and this thing just breaks apart. Look at that. Are you kidding me with this? As soon as I took that bite, immediately the thought of staying an extra week here in Lafayette popped in my head just so I could eat this every single day. This is unlike any biscuit I've ever had before. This is absolutely incredible. First of all, biscuit is piping hot. This thing definitely just came from the oven. It's toasty on the outside, warm, soft, and crumbly on the inside, soaked in honey. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. No wonder they sell this by the boxes. Wow. This is the best biscuit I've ever put in my mouth, and it's not close. Every bite you take, it's just so light and soft and buttery, truly out of this world. Also, if there's not enough honey there for you, there's honey at the table. But for me, this is just perfect. And that will fill you up too. $3. What a deal. Oh, actually, my mistake. I just looked at the menu again. That was $1.50. $1.50. How is McDonald's still in business in this town? Now for the biscuits and gravy. Oh, I'm so excited for this. Yeah, I'm really not putting much pressure on this fork at all. Look how easy this is breaking apart. This thing is covered in gravy, some cheese. I asked for a sausage patty inside. Incredible. Thick, rich gravy, very peppery inside. Get a bite with the sausage. These biscuits are absolutely making this dish right now. And also they have Cajun seasoning on the table. Let's try some Uncle John's barbecue. Sprinkle some of that on there. Maybe a little hot sauce. Oh wow, there's some good heat in the seasoning. Like really good heat. Oh, this is very nice. Sprinkle that on, cuts through the richness of the gravy, gives it even more flavor. Heck to the yash. If you are ever in Lafayette, do not miss the spot. Do not miss these biscuits. Gotta hurry up and finish breakfast because after this, and this is the reason why I'm in Lafayette right now, I am going on a crawfish excursion and sitting down for a true, authentic, local crawfish boil. It's gonna be really exciting.
My name's Barry Toops, owner of Crawfish Haven, Mrs. Rose's Bed and Breakfast. In 2013, I purchased a house. Wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. My relatives from Biloxi came crawfishing and had a blast crawfishing. And I decided in 2015 to turn this into a bed and breakfast and offer crawfish excursions. My first year, the whole year, I had 3 nights, and now we're averaging over 200 nights a year just during crawfish season. It's been a fun ride. I'm meeting people from all over the world, and I'm telling people I'm traveling the world here.
In the back of a trailer, and this is the crawfish ponds right here. And Barry runs one of the only farms that's dedicated to crawfish. And you can see all the traps in the water. There's crawfish holes all over the place. This is such an amazing experience. Those are gator prints.
As you see, look, there's tracks down here too.
Are they eating the crawfish?
They do eat crawfish.
There are gators in these ponds. I wouldn't go swimming in them, but look at this, a giant gator print.
So what we're catching is swamp ray crawfish in these rice fields. This is a crawfish where they have the eggs. One female can carry up to 500. The majority is about 200-300, but they can carry up to 500 eggs. This is a male. See the two long white things right here? Mm-hmm. That's his male organ. And you see how the hair's a lot shorter on the tail? Okay, here's a female. See, it doesn't have the two long white things? See how the hair's a lot longer right here on the tail? Mm-hmm. That's where she carries her eggs. We're gonna go out in the boat. I'm gonna pick up that first trap after that. You're gonna pick up the traps. You can actually take the crawfish, put them in the trough. The bigger ones go in the sack, the smaller ones fall back in, go back in the water.
You usually do this by yourself?
Oh yeah.
It's very fast paced.
I got 800 traps.
800 traps?
Wow. We're only gonna run about 50 right here.
Woo! This is a big one. Ah! Those things can pinch.
Coons, otters, birds. I can name you 20 predators. Bullfrogs eat crawfish, but that's okay, we eat them too. I can name you 20 predators. You know what's their number one predator? The Cajuns. So you know how you tell the difference from a regular zoo and a Cajun zoo? The regular zoo has a description of the animal underneath it. The Cajun zoo has a recipe underneath it. There's nothing we don't cook and nothing we don't eat.
Whoa. This is, I'm gonna say 35 pounds.
Okay? It's like the price is right. If you over, you lose.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. My guess is 31.
31? That's something I've never done before. I think this whole thing is gonna make this taste even better. This is so wild. As we're just walking into the dining area, a little crawfish just wandered in, just from the ground. Ready to fight too, look at that.
$31.
So the crawfish is cooking right now. I'm telling you guys, it smells incredible in here. Got a little appetizer. This is Barry's homemade crawfish egg salad. So egg salad, giant chunks of crawfish in here. Oh, that's good. It's rich, eggy, and those pieces of crawfish, ridiculously tender. And it brings just a hint of subtle sweetness to the egg salad. The whole thing, not overly seasoned, not overly salty, not overly anything, just a perfect harmonious balance between the richness of the egg and the subtle sweet tenderness of the crawfish. This is a fantastic preview before the main event. Here it is, my mountain of freshly caught and then freshly cooked crawfish. the aroma coming off this ginormous plate, giving me chills, and it's probably 100 degrees outside. There's some vegetables in here, corn, carrots, potatoes, asparagus. There's andouille sausage. There's also pineapple, which is of course not a very typical ingredient when it comes to a crawfish bowl, but Barry asked me if I wanted that in there. I like pineapples. I think this will be great. The crawfish are ginormous. There's a little dipping sauce, homemade dipping sauce that goes with it. I think I said this before, Cajun Creole food to me is maybe the best in the country. I mean, this whole area, the cooking, the food is so incredibly different. The seasoning, the spices used, it's like fireworks. The last time I had fresh crawfish, maybe a couple years ago. This is better than going to Disney for me. It really is. All right, this is a monster one right here. Look at the claws. This thing is just dripping in its own juice and seasoning. You can smell all that amazing Cajun Creole seasoning. So, really simple. Break the tail off, take the top part off the tail, squeeze the bottom part of the tail, and just pull the crawfish out of its shell. Of course, do not forget, suck on the head. Oh my gosh. I mean, when I say suck on the head, like get way up in there where all the guts and brains, all that good flavor resides. I mean, this is the penthouse of flavor right here. Just from that, my lips and tongue are tingling. And then, eat the crawfish. It's surreal how good this is. Finally, a true, authentic crawfish boil in the heart of Cajun Country. This is a big check off my food bucket list. The seasoning is unbelievable. There's so much spicy, peppery umami in the crawfish. First of all, from the head, all that great spices and flavor is accompanying that delicious crawfish umami that only resides right here. And now your taste buds are tingling just like your lips. And then chase it with the rest of the crawfish, which still has a little bit of that umami residue from the head. It's 10 out of 10, succulent, tender. Of course, it's fresh as can be. I mean, this thing was just swimming in the pond back there maybe an hour ago. And when I say that crawfish is tender, this is the most tender crawfish I ever popped in my mouth. The spices are just sensational. I already forgot there's dipping sauce too. Oh, this is nice. Very rich, creamy, a little sweet and zesty. Goes good with the crawfish, especially good with the vegetables. This is a plate of food that when you start biting into it, it's gonna book you a one-way ticket to food heaven. This is 5 pounds. I could probably eat 50 pounds of this. I don't want this to stop. I don't want that amazing seasoning to stop dancing on the tip of my tongue. Look at this. I don't think I've ever had a crawfish claw before, but why not? Look at all that delicious meat in the claw. Look at that. Oh, that's delicious. Yeah, that meat should not be wasted. That is some sweet, tender crawfish meat. What I like to do also, if the head is too hard, because late in the season, as Barry said, the head gets really hard, I just take the head apart and go right to the source. Oh yeah. Pure flavor. I feel like this is as good as it gets when it comes to food. If you never had a really traditional backyard crawfish boil before, and I know everybody cooks their crawfish differently, the way Barry does it, incredible. I mean, this needs to be on your food bucket list. I mean, the first time I had a crawfish boil, I remember it being life-changing. Right now, I feel like my life's changed again. Also, taste the crawfish with some pineapples. I think that's really good. And the pineapples, the corn, the carrots, the asparagus, everything has that delicious seasoning steeped into it. The pineapple, when you first take a bite, a little sweet, and then that spice will definitely hit you. This is one of my favorite Cajun food experiences. And just to be able to go with Barry and experience the whole process of catching the crawfish, learning more about crawfish, how they live, their predators, and then experiencing the joy of pulling them out of the water without, you know, an alligator chopping my arms off, finally to experience them in all their delicious glory. This has been an unreal food experience. Again, if you never had something like this before, please, top of your bucket list. This is an absolute life-changing food experience. All right, can't let my crawfish get cold. See you in a bit. That was such an incredible start to this Cajun food day. On my way to dinner and just had to stop at this place once again. Billy's Boudin and Cracklin's. I love coming here just to look at the different spices. Whoa, giant jar of seafood gumbo. Gator pickles. There's stuffed pork tenderloin, boneless 7 steaks, stuffed bell peppers. So, got a crawfish boudin, some seasoned cracklings, some chicken cracklings, and a pepper jack boudin ball. So if you don't know what boudin is, it's a type of sausage that usually combines pork, rice, onions, a bunch of different seasoning. In this case, of course, I got crawfish, and I remember this being absolutely just packed full of flavor last time I tried it. Just as good as I remembered it. When I took a bite of this, I forgot how much I loved this and missed this until I took that bite. Inside that snappy casing, there's rice, giant chunks of crawfish, onions, so many different herbs and spices. And when I say spices, this will ignite a flavor explosion on your tongue. And I don't know if I'm doing it right or not, but I had to get a sauce, and I got this Cajun Power all-purpose spicy garlic sauce. Dunk my boudin in there. That's a delicious hot sauce. That added to the heat of the boudin with some extra garlicky flavor. I mean, the boudin already perfectly delicious on its own, but if you want a lot more heat, a lot more garlic flavor, this is great for that. This just came out of the fryer. The pepper jack boudin ball. On the outside, crispy breading inside, pork rice. You see all the little specks of spice and herbs, and the Monterey Jack cheese in the middle. The outside tastes like a crispy fried chicken. Inside, spicy, gooey, cheesy, rich flavor bomb of a boudin. Add some of my hot sauce. Woo. What I like about the sauce is it actually cuts through the richness a lot. At the same time, absolutely lighting your tongue on fire. Chicken crackling, dusted with Cajun seasoning. It's crispy with tender chicken meat attached to it. It's smoky, a little bit of heat, and just so addictive. This is my absolute favorite. Seasoned cracklings. It's so beautiful. Not many things in the world better than this. You can hear the crunch of that skin all the way across town. And with the skin, there's a little layer of fat and meat, all covered in that delicious Cajun spices. I love how light and airy and melts in your mouth the crunchy skin becomes as soon as you bite into it, releasing all that tasty, fatty, porky juice all over your tongue. That one was all crunch right there. Must try if you are ever in Cajun country. I'll get one more of these before I leave tomorrow. It's that good. I think it's time for dinner. Whenever I'm in Louisiana, one thing I always crave is grilled oysters. And right now I am at Uncle Tes Oyster Bar. They have a lot of different selection of charbroiled oysters. There's the Nola, the Firecracker, the Classic Candy, and the Le Bon Cochon. The oysters have arrived. This is definitely the most variety of oysters I've ever seen on a giant plate. Everything is charbroiled to absolute perfection. There's melted cheese that's sizzling. I smell the char from the grill. There's little garlic toast in the middle. I am salivating so much right now. This is the Classic Candy. So on top, there's Zydeco sauce, there's candied jalapeno, and pepper jack cheese. And Zydeco sauce is type of a sauce made with tomatoes, garlic, and mayo. And you see the candied jalapenos, it's leaking juice, and look at all this cheese oozing over the side of the oysters. Just gonna have to try to shove everything in my mouth. That is mind-blowing. That is definitely the cheesiest oyster I've ever had. The oyster itself is so plump and juicy. The candied jalapeno is amazing. That thing just leaves such a delightfully smoky, sweet, spicy flavor on your tongue. There is so many flavors sitting on that half shell. This is the Le Bon Cochon. Again, pepper jack cheese and Creole mustard glaze sitting on this. Wow. Delicious. so delicious. This sauce, I can't stop shoving this in my mouth. It's very rich, the flavor is super deep. And it has this incredible umami to it. There's a bit of a kick as well. I think this is my favorite one so far. This is the Nola. So this is garlic butter and shredded Parmesan. And these are the ones that I would usually have whenever I'm in this region. Uber plump oysters and just so cheesy. Oh, by the way, ridiculous. Little garlic toast, buttery, it's garlicky. It goes so well with the oysters. Last one, this is the firecracker. So on top is jalapeno, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and Cajun seasoning. Yeah, there's a lot of bacon in this. Definitely the richest one. Little bits of toasty bacon combined with that spicy jalapeno. It's a thing of beauty. It's so spicy and fatty, just a symphony of flavors and textures. This giant plate of oysters is amazing. Not only are they cooked perfectly, you get so much of the smoke from the grill. The cheese is wonderfully toasted. All the flavors that's mingling with the oysters really enhances the sweetness and the butteriness of the oysters themselves. This is like a oyster flavor journey. Am I craving for charbroiled oysters? Completely satisfied. I was just thinking on the drive over here, those are better than any charbroiled oyster I've ever had. It's so good. Anyway, dinner number 2, chicken on the Bayou. All right, I'm so excited for this right now. I got a seafood gumbo, which is just loaded with shrimp and crawfish. I mean, loaded. Every time my spoon goes in, there's shrimp or crawfish on it. I got some red beans and rice, some Cajun rice, oh, and a shrimp po' boy. I am that hungry right now. Gumbo. Whoa. First of all, it is piping hot. There is so much seafood flavor in this gumbo. Besides the crawfish and the shrimp, I could see the holy trinity of onions and bell peppers and celery. Each spoonful, it's deep, it's a little briny, it's so much flavor. Also, this thing has a ton of heat in here. Add this over some rice. This flavor is so deep and complex. And this is freaking delicious. Especially the spoonfuls with the shrimp and crawfish. Both oh so tender. I love this so much. This is something I don't think I've ever tried before. Red beans with rice. So very plump red beans with andouille sausage mixed in. This is another wonderfully smelling dish. Ridiculous. This thing is so satisfying. The plump, creamy red beans go so well with that smoky sausage. And just like the gumbo, this thing's got some heat in here as well. This dish is just so aromatic, and there's a burst of smoky flavor in every single bite. I think it's my first time eating this. There is nothing simple or boring about this dish. It's an absolute flavor bomb. So good. Next up, another dish I've been really looking forward to, the crawfish etouffee. It's basically a crawfish stew over rice. And just like the red beans and rice, it smells so good. Oh, I love it. First of all, so much crawfish tail, all tender and slightly sweet. The roux is thick, it's rich with all that explosive Cajun spices mixed in. This is such a rich dish, and it's sitting on top of fluffy white rice where every single grain just submerged in this rich sauce. Another thing I like about this place, they are not afraid to turn up the heat in their food. Every bite you take, besides that deep, rich umami and that tender, sweet crawfish, you get that delightful tingle of the hot sauce, the cayenne, stewed into that velvety sauce. And every single spoonful, you're getting a ton of the crawfish. They do not skimp on the crawfish here at all. Next dish is one of my favorites, Cajun rice or dirty rice. Incredible. I love this dish ever since I first tried it, at Popeyes. That doesn't come close to how delicious this is. I mean, besides the fluffy white rice, every bite you take, you get that wonderful organy flavor from the chicken liver. The flavors are earthy, it's rustic, and the Cajun spices definitely gives this dish its signature heat and complexity. This is definitely a traditional taste of Bayou right here. I think this might be my first time eating this dish that's not at a Popeyes. Can't stop eating this. Totally forgot I had one more dish. A shrimp po' boy. That's a good po' boy. Crispy fried shrimp stuffed inside this pillowy, soft French baguette. There's lettuce and a hefty portion of remoulade. I mean, the shrimp is really nice and plump and juicy. You can definitely taste all that wonderful Cajun seasoning on the outside of the shrimp. I'm so happy with everything I ordered, actually. Really wanted to try their fried chicken too, but I am going to a fried chicken place tomorrow, so I'll get it then. But I love coming back to this area. I've said this before. I think this area, best, most uniquely delicious food in the country. And today, definitely satisfied a lot of cravings. I'm gonna finish this and see you tomorrow. Good morning. Had to get one more meal before leaving town. And I am at Laura's 2. The first time I saw this place was on Parts Unknown with Anthony Bourdain. Then again, ran into a couple friends last night who said I had to come here before leaving. So as soon as they opened, here I am. I got, oh my gosh, this smells so good. This is so crazy. Oh, my heart is beating. So the first thing I got, which they highly recommended, was the fried catfish. And they told me this is local catfish. And underneath, I got rice and gravy. I got seafood okra and a Cajun dish I'd never had before. I think it's pronounced corn makshu. It's corn and peppers cooked in bacon grease. Yes, every part of that sounds awesome. First of all, start with the catfish. Again, locally sourced. It's crispy on the outside, really, really juicy filet inside. Oh my God. That thing didn't even fully materialize in my mouth and it already shook me. The outside is just the most subtle of crunches. Piping hot inside, ridiculously juicy and tender. Also, the seasoning on the outside is catfish, mesmerizing. I still can't get over that crunch. It's seasoned perfectly, not overly strong, but such wonderful flavors that complements the sweet, tender catfish. This is an absolute must try. Wow, I've never had catfish like this before. One of the greatest pieces of fried fish I've ever had in my life. Right here. I want like 5 more of these. I even brought tartar sauce to dip it in. I don't need it. It's just so perfect on its own. So perfect. Let me get to the size too. This is their famous rice and gravy. Yeah, that's good. That there is just pure, thick, rich umami. Also, the rice is nice and fluffy. All right, I've been dying to get into this. This is the seafood smothered okra. And the little round things in here are the okra seeds. And they show me the okra. They're ginormous fresh okra. Again, sourced locally. I did not think okra could taste this good. I mean, to me, I've always found okra to be, it's okay. Fry it up, a little slimy inside, not bad. This is some love at first bite stuff. Just like the gravy is thick and rich, you can definitely taste all that deep umami of the seafood. You can taste a little crab, maybe a little shrimp in here. Oh, and the burn. Yeah, there is a simmering burn in this okra. Oh, this corn looks awesome. Oh. Just like the gravy and the okra, rich, very thick, popping sweet corn, just loaded with umami. There's a lot of flavor in this. If I had to pick though, for everything in the box, that catfish, that is some next level, unbelievable, multiple roundhouses to your face kind of catfish. And then the okra. Those two are like neck and neck. Love them both. Rice and gravy, the corn, both amazing. These two, just unreal. The other box I got, which I just had to get, their famous stuffed turkey wings. Oh, that is ginormous. It's ginormous and beautiful. I'm so happy. I got another side of their seafood okra. That is definitely the best food decision I made today. Look at the size of these turkey wings sitting on top of course, rice and gravy. Such a gorgeous color on the outside. You can see all the spices and seasoning. Oh my gosh, this is so tender. Look at how easily this thing comes apart. Easily coming off the bones. Look at this. This is crazy. And there's seasoning stuffed into the wing itself. Oh. Oh my gosh, this is so spicy. This is so spicy and so much flavor. Look how big a section of this wing is. Oh, that skin is delicious. All that wonderful Cajun seasoning on the outside of the skin. Some parts are a little crispy and smoky, and the meat melts in your mouth. And turkey, of course, not really known to melt anywhere. This is some melt in your mouth turkey meat. I love the stuffed spices in here. Eat it with some of the rice and gravy. The spices from the turkey go so well with that deep, rich umami from the rice and gravy. And then, of course, invite the okra to the table. Oh, even better. Also, I didn't mention, this thing's about, I say, 2.5 pounds. You will be satisfied. Their potato salad is so good too. I love this restaurant. This is one of the greatest restaurants in this country. The flavors are incredible. This is all the flavors I love. I love rich, deep, spicy flavors, and there's so much of that here. With all its beautiful complexity, that just goes so well together. Yeah, this restaurant is a 10 out of 10 must try. Unbelievable. My recommendation, get the catfish, get the stuffed turkey wing. I mean, I wish I could try out their other dishes too. I'm sure they're incredible as well, but do not miss out on this restaurant. This has been such a fun experience going on a Cajun food tour here in the heart of Cajun country. I just want to say, everybody I've met, from the people standing in line to the servers to the restaurant owners, these people here especially, so nice. Nicest people you ever meet. So this trip, my stomach and my soul very much fulfilled. And as always, all the places I went to listed down below for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Until we eat again. See you later.
These crawfish bury in the ground. They bury about this deep. When they bury in the ground like this time of the year, at the end of the season, when they bury into the ground, their hole fills up with water and they cap it. They have to have moisture to survive in the ground. Their gills have to stay wet. So if we get rain on a regular basis, like once a week in the summertime, that's great for crawfish. They're gonna stay at that level. If we go through a major drought like we did this past year, we went 4 months with no rain at all. The older ones knew that they had to bury deeper to get moisture. They've known to bury 10 foot deep. If that crawfish goes 10 foot deep, it takes it a long time to come back up. That's why some years you catch is better than others. Mother Nature has everything to do with it. The average farmer catches around 500 pounds per acre per year. I've had some years where I had 1,100 pounds an acre. I had some years where I had 200 pounds an acre. This is going to be a year less than 200 pounds an acre because of the drought.